Welcome to the Every Brain is Different podcast. It is Samantha and Lauren here with you, and we have a special guest today, and his name is Ryan Miele. He is the creator of their Turbobo SEL. And Ryan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited because I want to get one of these for my son. He is obsessed with, well, we'll talk more about it later, but he would really like this. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how are you involved in the neurodivergent community?
Yeah, so I'm a current third year student at Brown University, and I founded Turbobo out of almost a passion project of mine a few years ago, where it actually came originally from my experience volunteering in a local autistic center called Ableist within my town. They have a large range of clients and wonderful people there from anywhere from the ages of 18 all the way to 65 with varying degrees of neurodivergence. And we set up this thing called Together We Shine, which is a prom where we set up where we like make a little prom for everybody to have fun and let off some of that steam. And in that moment, there was one lady there named Andrea who had really struggled because her date was late and she thought she was getting stood up and had this crazy fit of anxiety and was threatening to punch me, the volunteer at the time. And I was a little, oh my gosh, what do you do? But eventually, what kind of led to me on down this path was I wish I could have given her something tangible to hold to give her that second of calm that she needed in that moment. And that kind of went down a rabbit hole, which led me to creating Tubrbobo about 2 years ago now.
Awesome. Yeah, I know like when people get overwhelmed sometimes, when something unexpected happens, then they can react in ways that they wouldn't normally act. So like trying to punch you, or some people like I know kids that I work with, like they get overwhelmed, and I have been bitten, I've been slapped, and it's not what they normally do. Their body just gets so overwhelmed that they don't know what to do, or they just shut down, or they cry, or whatever. I know that I cry all the time when I get overwhelmed, so that's fine. But what I'm saying is that people aren't doing these things because they want to. They're doing them because they're overwhelmed and their body doesn't know how to react. And so tell us how the Turbobo, what is it and how does it help people in that situation?
Yeah, so Turbo, if you can, imagine this cute, cuddly stuffed animal that looks like anything else that would be on your bed or your child's bed, but it has five hidden features in it, clinically proven to reduce feelings of anxiety and stress by targeting your physiological symptoms. So almost what you were just saying there, Samantha, about how the body reacts when they feel that stress and anxiety. So Turbo has a weighted body, which lowers that heart rate, reduces those cortisol levels, gives that feeling of grounding to force that brain back into kind of focus. You have a fidget tail, so some beads inside. You have a half moon Velcro patch on the underside of one of its ears for different type of tactile stimulation. And then each ear has these hidden zippered pockets to them for customizable inserts that can range from a gel pack, which you can put in the freezer, put in the microwave, put in the ear, give that temperature change, or the other ear takes in pure grade lavender essential oil or different aromatherapies that you can kind of customize like eucalyptus and peppermint, whatever works best for you, just as a way of getting all the senses, including those olfactory senses, engaged and forcing the brain to feeling that second of calm within immediate use of Turbobo.
I love that, how you have all the different things that might help someone. So, have you ever heard of people being too overwhelmed by all the different things on it, or are they just able to pick one and focus on that?
Yeah, I mean they're very separate in its design. So the dog itself, the stuffed pup, is about the size of an adult chest. So it's not something that you can really hold in the palm of your hand. So because of how large it is and how it really gives you that kind of weighted blanket-esque feel, you have a tail very far at the back of it. You have the weight in the center. You have the two ears with up top with the different kind of separating their own little siloed ear pockets for what they want to use. So it's very easy to just focus on one different aspect of it as they're not all combined into one kind of piece they kind of hold. They're all in their own little siloed sections of it to ensure everybody has exactly what they want to get out of it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's super important because, for some people, the smell might be too overwhelming. Well, then don't use it. Don't put the essential oil
Exactly.
on it or don't do that. Yeah.
But two squishy gel packs instead. It's really kind
Yeah.
of Do whatever works best for you.
Yeah, and I like that there's options. So that's important because, you're already overwhelmed. And then if a kid like smells something that they're not used to, they'll be like, ah. So yeah, I love that. And then do you have any like testimonials or stories about how it's helped kids or adults?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest piece of Turbobo about 2 years ago was how it's being used in the school systems across the country. So it's in about close to over 400 schools in New York City. You have another 100 in Chicago, with that number growing. And you have other major cities like Austin, Texas, and San Francisco, and Denver trying it out and seeing how it works. So there's a large array of testimonials that you can find online. My favorite always in a classroom setting is how like a little elementary schooler will come in, and at the end, the one I'm thinking of, they were a refugee originally from Haiti who just arrived and was really missing home because they're doing a cultural studies lesson, and then very visibly upset, very distressed, and they were able to bring Turbobo to that child and give them that kind of 30 seconds to reset, and they were actually able to immediately stop crying, stop fidgeting, come back in a very centered way, and allowed to kind of re-engage with the class. So it really helped their brain kind of focus in on the lesson plan and not get kind of caught up in that spin we feel like we're in when we're feeling a little extra anxiety or stress.
Yeah, that's awesome because especially if they come from Haiti, maybe like a refugee maybe doesn't have the language that we have to express ourselves to someone who is in this country. So that can be a nonverbal thing. And that's a lot of neurodivergent kids also don't have the words to express themselves a lot of time, or they're so overwhelmed that they can't express themselves. And so they can just hang on to it. I love that. Do you have is it evidence-based or do you go off of any research for it? Or how did you like come up with it to know that it works,
Yeah,
basically?
absolutely. So it actually kind of journey started as a senior in high school when I really did this kind of year long of research kind of exploration. And as a high schooler, you really don't know much from anything at that point, but was able to kind of cold email and reach out to different leading psychologists and behaviorists around the country. That included like every single major Ivy League department chair, and like just a simple cold email, be like, hey, can we talk? I'd love to learn more about anxiety and what it is and how to help. And looking back, I really had no business expecting a response, but to my fortune, one guy did, who was the department chair of psychology at Harvard at the time, and this guy named Dr. Olagarvia. And he literally gave me an hour of his time on the phone. I didn't know him. I didn't like it was a simple cold email, and he basically gave me a crash course in psychology, which is kind of insanely generous from someone to give that much time to this random high schooler they haven't met from anywhere. So really kind of used him as a starting place. And he mentioned different points of anxiety and how the big piece of it's like an evolutionary disadvantage, especially in modern times when you have that kind of your brain stuck in that fight or flight mode. But it's in the middle because there are a lot of problems we face in modern society where we can't run away from and we can't fight it. So the brain's, well, what do I do now? So it's kind of the trick is getting you out of that middle ground and allowing you to refocus and think logically about something that will force that brain and body to calm down and get out of that anxious state that we all feel when exposed to something new or scary or anything like that. And then he went on to even say things like how temperature put on the vagus nerve on your forehead actually runs down your entire body through your toes, hitting that big nerve and just giving you that kind of sensory shock almost in a very calm way that's going to force that brain to snap out of whatever you're thinking about that's giving you stress and feel that cold running through them just by putting it on a simple spot on your forehead. That's part of why it's even in the ear of Turbobo. So you can put that ear on the forehead while it's on your stomach. So you get that maximum benefit and relief.
Yeah, well, this is, I guess, good for me. I don't know. My mother-in-law always told me when I'm freaking out to put ice on, like, get that temperature change and put ice, like, on my forehead or something. And I was like, whatever. Turns out she's right. So, hey, Melinda, thank you for that. It's research-based. No, I trusted her, but I was just like, I'm in the moment. She's like, do this. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And anyway, turns out it is research based, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it feels so silly, but
Yeah.
sometimes the silliest things work the best.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And actually, she is very awesome. So I just need to listen more, apparently. Her and my mom. Don't you hate that when you're like, do this, and you're like, no. And then it turns
Yeah.
out to be, you know,
They're
good
right.
stuff, the right thing.
No one likes
Anyway,
to admit when their parents are right.
I know. But
Especially as an
anyway,
adult.
I know. I'm like, especially when you're in the field and
Yeah.
they're not, I don't want to say just like homemakers or whatever, because my mom works at a school now and my mother-in-law has work too. But anyway, we are way off tangent on a tangent right now. But that does go to show like sometimes when people are telling you things, you should maybe try them and maybe it will work. I don't know. Just saying. Yeah. Anyway, I am fascinated by this research into anxiety. So, is there anything else you can tell parents about anxiety or how it works so that they can help their kids?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I almost touched on a little earlier. The name of the game is getting the brain out of that middle ground between that fight or flight. And you can do that in a large array of different ways. And one can be playing music or just really talking or whatever you can to distract them almost from whatever their brain is hung up on that's giving them that anxiety. Because once you kind of shift your thought process to think about something else, your whole body's then going to relax and feel more calm just because it's not stuck on that one block that was giving you that stress in the first place. So, as an adult, even who is stressed, and you think, how am I going to make my rent this week? And you're all anxious and you kind of freeze up, maybe put on a movie or listen to music or read your favorite book, the first page, or put a Turbobo on your lap, whatever it's going to be. It's just going to change your focus. And then you'll find that, okay, wait, I need to make rent. Now, how am I going to do this? As opposed to having that kind of freeze up, tense feeling that we all get, almost like we're frozen, like a deer in headlights, as a like almost an analogy when you are in that anxious situation.
Yeah, for sure. You just find the thing that works for you to snap out of it and then practice that. Like we've said before on this podcast, practice it when you're calm so that when you're not super calm, it's not a new thing that you're introducing. It's a well-known thing. So, if you have the Turbobo, then hold it when you're calm to maybe help you stay calm instead of ramping up to that anxious state. I know that that helps me, like with my weighted blanket that I have. If I just use it before I go into anxiety, then I stay more calm and I don't even go into the anxiety at all, which would be amazing, or it is amazing. So, anyway, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so you'll just go online and type in Turbobo. So T as in toy, B as in boy, OBO. So Turbobo.co. So .co. And you'll land right there. You'll see a few different options. There's a smaller one for the little guys, there's a bigger one for adults and older kids. My friends in college always are like fighting over one because I give like each of them one, like almost like the Hunger Games style, where they get one for five of them and they have to fight over it basically.
Yeah.
And they all just absolutely love it. So it's really ageless in how it's going to help kind of support you in not only your daily activities, but your sleep and just really throughout your day on how it's going to reorient and give you calm.
I
I
see
love it.
some books on there. Can you touch on that and how you kind
Yeah.
of related it?
Sure. So Tubrbobo is also special in that it's almost a character in its own little anxiety world where there's a lot of different book offerings in English and Spanish on the website as well. And we give those to schools as part of their programming with it. But it's really just kind of fun adventure books, super easy reads. And it's going to walk through different points of anxiety. So I think one's turning anger into calm. So when you're feeling really angry or not knowing how to get through something in the moment, there's some lessons in there that's going to help you kind of think differently about different situations. There's one called a sleepover, which is giving you sleeping tricks on how to fall asleep in minutes, as opposed to maybe laying in your bed anxious for an hour that's not letting you go to sleep. So there's a lot of different great topics on those books made in partnership with some psychologists. So another way to kind of bring that cuddly Turbobo face into a fun world where they're going to get some lessons out of it.
That's fantastic. Like pairing the books with the Turbobo so you can use them together. I love it. I say that so much on this podcast. I don't know what else to say. Just people that come on here, I just love what they say. So, anyway, our last question for you is what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I am definitely an active person. I've always done sports growing up. So my favorite thing, probably my favorite sport is probably golf, just because it's very relaxing to me and being out in nature and walking the course. And it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. I'm not very good myself, but I do enjoy it quite a bit.
That's awesome. I cannot golf, so I applaud people who can. I went to a driving range, and this was like 20 years ago, but I was so bad, my friend fell on the ground laughing at me. He was very rude, but
I'm sure it
I,
was a very fun memory, though, nonetheless.
yeah, yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. So thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. I'm gonna go get a Turbobo for my son because he has anxiety, and well, all my kids have anxiety. My whole house has anxiety. We all need one. I'm gonna go get 5 and support you because this is awesome. So thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Samantha.
Yeah. Okay, Lauren, he's very impressive. He is only a junior in college and, he's going places. And the audacity, I love his audacity to email professors. It's kind of like when I emailed Dr. Temple Grandin and expected her to reply, and then she did. And I was like, audacity gets you places sometimes.
I need more ambition than audacity, but yes, I like that he had an idea and he wanted to pursue it and he went with it. So props to him. I love
Yeah.
it. It's a super cute. I would want it for me. It's super cute. It's super big. It's heavy. What's not to love? I wouldn't do the smells. I would do two little gel pack things.
Yeah.
It's super cool. And I know I didn't talk too much about it, but I love the books that are associated with it. And there's quite a few, like The First Day of School, The Turning Anger into Calm, Simple Acts of Kindness, things like that. And so I think that is nice to have as well. And I love that he's doing it in school. And so if you are a school, he does have a trial situation that you guys can look into to see if it might benefit your kiddos. So I love it. I think it's great. Anxiety is real for all ages. And I think on the website, or I think it was on Facebook, I don't know, but it was like, who doesn't love a stuffed animal? And
Yeah.
if you don't, I'm questioning you. So I think it's an awesome product. So people are interested, definitely check it out. It's cute. It looks fluffy. He didn't really touch on it, but you can choose 2 different like textures for it. You can do like the fluffy or the forgot what it's called. It starts with a V. It's a different material.
Yeah.
Like sensory issues. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I'm seriously going to get one for my son. And then the other kids will probably take it, and then I'll have to get more. But
You have to share, like
I
he
can-
does in the Hunger Games. Like he does his friends. 5 of them, you get one.
Yeah,
Do get out.
that's true. Well, we'll see
And
how
then
it
you can
goes.
teach sharing.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I heard the other day? This is so random, but why do we expect kids to share like we do when we don't expect adults to share like that? Well, a kid will just be playing with something, and then there are kids, I want it. And then we'll be like, hey, you have to share. If you were using something and a random adult just came up to you and said, I want that, and someone was like, you have to share. Absolutely not.
A literal adult from American culture is mine is mine.
Yeah.
So why are we forcing it on kids? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, that is my most random tangent for the day. And with that, maybe we'll do an episode about appropriate sharing. I don't know. Because that
Sharing is caring, but with boundaries.
Yeah, I never realized how weird that is. You're on the playground and you're playing, and then another kid comes up and says, I want to do that. And so then you're just expected to get off because they want it. That would never fly with adults. That's wild to me. Anyway, that was my epiphany. Oh, this was months ago, but I just brought it up today.
Let's dig into the psychology of that.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, I hope you all have a great week, and we will see you next week.